Salve Regina, Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo et spes nostra salve. A te clamamus, exules filii Eve, a te suspiramus, gementes et flentes. Advocata nostra, stulos tuos misericordes oculos a nos converte, et Iesum benedictum fructum ventris tui, nobis post hoc exilium ostende, proclaming Sophia, o dulcis Virgo Maria. Ave Maria, Ave Maria, Ave Maria, Ave Maria. Gratia plena Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Santa Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora mortis nostrae.
And we are live. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever any of you all are tuning in. Don't think we're going to be joined by Gary today, but we might be later. And even if we're not, we're here. It is myself with the canonical sniper, Dr. David. Guys, how y'all doing? Hope y'all are having a great one. Lord bless everybody. David, how you been, my man? How you been, brother?
Awesome. Very good weekend, full of duties, but also prayer and, grace from God and everything like that. So
Praise God.
thrilled to be here with you and join you, William. How about you?
Great. How's the family doing, by the way? How's the little one?
Great.
Good.
He's just, talking all the time.
Good. That's good to hear.
And enjoying everything, the snow and the weather and everything like that. So
I imagine the snow. Have y'all had a good amount of snow?
Yes, in January, yes.
Wow, good,
so
good,
far.
good.
Yeah.
There we go. That's awesome.
Not in
Shout out to
Texas, right?
no. It's very, very rare when we get it over here. Now tonight it's supposed to get very, very cold, but cold for us is nowhere near cold for you all. Nowhere
Mhm.
even close to it. But supposed to get a little bit of cold tonight. But it's been good. It's been good. God bless all of you all. Audience, we want to remind you all. For those of you all that want to come up, you want to pick our brain, or if you want to challenge us, look, we don't have Gary. Come on up and, we'll take all of you all. Come on, man. Including
This is your
all of,
chance. This is your
there you
chance.
go, man. Including all of the Alianza. Gary's not here. He won't be here today. So, yeah. So, guys, come on up. If you have any questions, you want to challenge us in the canon, cool. We'd love to hear from you all. But if you don't want to challenge us in the canon, that's fine as well. We'd love to hear from you as well. Ask us anything, any questions you may have on your mind as well. Whatever questions you want to challenge us. I know we have people from the Spanish-speaking community that have been tuning in lately. So, hey, and I know they're bilingual, so you guys have anything on your mind, come back here. Did I pin the link? The link is pinned, so come back here and pummel our brains, whether you want to debate or not. I want to give a shout out to Mythical Brother, says, Dr. David, man. Why does David get all of the preferential treatment, man? He gets all of it, man. God bless you, Mythical. And I want to give an enormous shout out to Devore, who gifted a membership. And I want to talk about that right now. Who got gifted a membership? LEBTS Gar did. And I want to give a shout out to Devore. By the way, Devore, I'll be adding you to our incredible group shortly. But what Devore doesn't realize that he did something tremendous. Now, in the Spanish-speaking community, there is a gentleman who is an enormous troll. I mean, you can't even take that guy seriously at all. He's one of the nastiest guys. His name is Edgar Pacheco. Now, I know you've never heard of him, David. Most people, unless they're part of that Spanish-speaking community, they don't know who he is. But think of him. If I could give you an analogy of how bad Pacheco is, think of the dumbest Protestant apologist in the English-speaking world, and he's dumber. He is horrible, one of the dumbest I've ever encountered. But he has a following over there because they have that their alliance are all really, really bad in theology. But that guy's name is Edgar Pacheco. Shockingly enough, last night I was predicting something, David. I said, I bet that guy watches. He watches us. I know he does, because he knows that I've been coming for him. I've been coming for his apologists, and I've been shredding their arguments with ease. Their arguments in the canon are horrible, David. They're horrible. That's why I invite them to all come back here. But I've said, well, you know what, guys? I bet you anything, Edgar watches. Well, what our near and dear brother Devore Marcus doesn't realize is, or maybe Devore Marcus does know, is that just the other day, this screenshot was sent to me. Just the other day, we got confirmation. Edgar Pacheco does watch. Look at that. Edgar Pacheco was gifted a membership the other day.
Oh.
And somebody showed me that. Yeah, there you go. Edgar, how you doing? Now we know you watch. We know you're watching, Edgar. All courtesy of Devore Marcus. I've told you all many times over. By the way, thank you all for your support. We rely on your support to do what we're doing here. But thank you for the support, because every now and then, people that are hiding there and watching, they're hiding and watching. They get outed. When they get gifted a membership, boom, people know you're there. Edgar, how you doing, Edgar? There it is for people that are wondering. And Edgar, congratulations. You got the Great Augustine icon. Now, isn't that fitting, David, for somebody that attacks the Catholic canon? Now, isn't that fitting, David? It is. Right?
Absolutely. Now you got to become Catholic. I mean, there's no way out.
There's no way out, Edgar. Educate yourself, become Catholic, and elevate your arguments, Edgar. I got to tell you, because if you do decide to debate, which I know we all know, by the way, come on, guys. Edgar, the challenging me to debate, and I accepted. Look, guys, I've agreed to debate Edgar in his own language, his own native language, man. I mean, it isn't my native language, and I've agreed to debate him in it. What are you waiting for, Edgar? But I tell you one thing, Edgar, the old arguments from the 1800s are not going to work. they're just not going to work in debate, Edgar. I got to warn you. So you got to elevate your argument. So make sure you're tuning in. We're glad that you're a fan. We're glad you got a membership. And hey, you got outed, man. You got outed. I don't know, brother. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe somebody knows. Pacheco el payaso. Yeah, there you go. That means Pacheco the clown. The guy, without a doubt, is a clown. Without a doubt.
Oh, that's
Go ahead,
really
brother.
that's interesting. That El Payaso means clown because in Hungarian it's payac, so it's the
Really?
same. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So it's very similar then.
Yeah, we do have some shared words. It seems like, yeah.
All right. Very cool. I didn't know that. Very, very cool. Well, we don't have any questions that have come in yet, but I'm sure we'll get some in a moment. Hopefully we will. And until we do get some, what have you been working on? Anything over there going on in your end in terms of the canon world or anything at all? Have you been working on anything?
Yeah, you know me, William. When I start researching a topic, I'm just researching it for a long time because I really don't want to miss anything.
No
I
doubt.
really want to turn each little stone. So,
Yeah.
since I mean, it has been a whole year 2005 when I started researching the Book of Judith and its historicity. I don't take the position that it's like clear allegory or fantasy or something like that, but of course that needs to be nuanced. So
Right.
So I'm still putting together a nice presentation about Book of Judith and the supposed errors, and so I'm absolutely, I cannot wait to present it to you guys.
Man, I can't wait to check that out.
Yeah, but it still requires
a little bit more
time.
work.
Yeah. I mean, I got all the information. I just need to, put everything together in a very understandable way.
Sure. That does make complete sense. Yeah, to toss everything together so it can all make sense. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
And by the way, very nice intro. Is that new? Or
it made a few days ago. It was made a few days ago by Mythical. Shout out to Mythical.
Mythical. Okay.
Yeah.
Very
No, ladrón en la cruz. No, my friend. And by the way, let's see what a man you are. Come back here and let's debate, buddy. No, that isn't true. Because I flat out challenged Pacheco to debate, and then Pacheco came and wanted me to debate on his channel. Give me a break. You think I'm going to go to his channel and debate? Then I put the challenge out and I told Carlos Veloz, we'll debate on a channel that's 4 times bigger than his own. Catholic Answers are willing to host it. And in Spanish, we're waiting for Pacheco to become a man. To man up, man. Now, ladrón en la cruz, we know that you're not a man either, but if you become a man, the way we wish Pacheco would become a man, because neither of you all are men, well, then man up and accept the debate. Guys, come on. In your native language. Come on, man. Not even in English, man. Your native language, and you've got your hero terrified. Look, I get it. For a guy that gets tattoos of triangles on his neck, which, by the way, he does, David. He gets tattoos of triangles on his neck. I totally understand why he'd be scared of debating. Yeah, it totally does make sense. All right, let's see. It's a dumb question. It's not a dumb question, man. No, we'll take it. Any questions you all have, we'll get the ball rolling. But we do want y'all to come back here if you are able to. If you are able to come back here, let us know. And come back here, you can ask us any questions. The Catechism says only Peter received the keys, but didn't you mention all the apostles received the keys? Sorry if off topic. Now, all of the apostles have the power to bind and loose. That is explicit in the Catechism as well, meaning they all share in being able to utilize those keys. Only St. Peter received the keys in a singular fashion. Only St. Peter received them in a singular fashion. Now, are the other apostles able to utilize? Without a doubt. How else do you think they're able to bind and loose in the sense of forgive sins or retain? That is a binding and loosing ability. Now, the other thing that is very clear in the Bible, by the way, this interpretation is officially from our councils. The other thing that is very clear in the Bible is that you need to be united to the head. So it isn't a matter of any Pastor Bob or Pastor Billy Bob or Pastor Pacheco or whatever pastor being able to go to the pulpit and say, all right, well, I've got this power. No, the power is handed on by the laying on of hands. That is how power is transferred. That is how it is handed on. And we see that very clearly in the Bible, meaning to tie that into an issue of the canon. In order to be able to discern the proper canon, you need the apostolic church. You need that church that Christ founded. So it isn't a matter of, well, I'm a believer, meaning I can bind and loose too. No, that is not the way that it was taught or believed in the Bible. The idea of binding and loosing, it was very, very clearly juridical. It was handed on by the laying on of hands. It wasn't merely a matter of, okay, well, I'm an outsider, and I don't even believe the same things that you believe, and now I've got this power. The church has never believed that. The church has never, ever taught that. Anything to add to that, Brother David?
No, I basically agree. I don't think I can anyhow extend your answer. It was pretty much laid out.
Pretty clear. And you get that. I mean, there's a very clear reason, faithful. There's a very clear reason why St. Jerome submits to the authority of the saintly innocent. I mean, there's a very, very clear reason. And that is because the paradigmatic model in the ancient church is that of Catholicism, that the Pope is the Bishop of Rome. He is the one who is the shepherd of the church. St. Jerome submits to the authority of saintly innocent. And Innocent, the Pope, St. Innocent the Great, as you know very well, David, you can confirm, was a phenomenal proponent of the Deuterocanon, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. He decreed his letter in 405 to Exuperius, if I'm not mistaken, to the Bishop of Gaul, and interestingly, later on, Pope Nicholas I hearkened to the decree, which was again addressed to the bishops of Gaul. So apparently it's authoritative. It's not just random letter here or there.
Right. Yeah, no, that does make 100% sense, right? I mean, that's very clear, isn't it?
Yep.
Now, another thing that we got asked the other day, and I'd like to get your opinion because it was asked to me and Gary, but you weren't around, so let me pick your brain on it. And by the way, we'll take your other questions. Audience, if all you guys do is send in chats, we'll take them, but we'd love to engage with you all back here. So if y'all want to come back here, ask us a question, or if you don't agree, you want to challenge us, you're more than welcome as well. I'm sure in the over 400 people we have watching, I know that a few of you all are haters. I know it, man. Come on, we got a lot of the Evangelical Alliance in the Spanish-speaking world watching. They're obsessed with me now, so they're welcome to come up to be big boys because they can talk a big game, but when it comes to performing, they don't perform a big game. But we'll go to you all later. Now, here's the question that came up. Do you think two things? We know Rome was a real council. But you think there was a canon list at Rome?
Yeah, that's a difficult question.
Right.
You're right. There certainly was a council. In fact, there were several councils in Rome.
Yeah, you're right.
But
382 one. I should have narrowed it down. Yeah, I should have narrowed it down.
Yes. Well, Jerome very clearly speaks about the council, and he speaks about the council as a council of the East and West. Mm-hmm. So even though it's not clearly an ecumenical council, or clearly wasn't, nevertheless, Eastern bishops were present at the council. He mentions Epiphanius, Paulinus, and perhaps other bishops as well. So we've got even a bishop from Antioch there. So we have Antioch, we have Salamis, and others. So now whether there was a canon or a decree regarding the books of the Bible, that's another question. It's a separate question, I believe, and there are some scholars who try to persuasively argue that certainly that canonical list does come from Rome, or or from Pope Damasus, who convened the council.
Right.
And here's the problem: that decree or decrees were interpolated.
Right.
So most probably, as Danziger says, if I'm correct, the later ones, the later sections are interpolations. That's very clear because it mentions the Council of Chalcedon from 451, which,
Yeah.
we're talking about the Council in 382, which is prior to
Right.
Chalcedon. So that's apparently a later addition.
That is no doubt.
Yeah, but the first section, that there doesn't seem to be a problem with that. Now, some people say that, well, the canonical list is an interpolation as well because it follows Jerome's Vulgate, the order of the Vulgate, and it especially because it mentions Lamentations. So it mentions Jeremiah cum synod and with his Lamentations. Now, the problem is not all of the scholars detected this, but some very good ones, yes, like Pierre Maurice Boguet, who did discover manuscript where it mentions only Jeremiah and not Lamentations. So basically, the list would be very similar to Carthage and to the Carthaginian council. And he says that that's certainly the original or the earlier version, because why would you, delete or omit Lamentations from the later version? It just doesn't make sense. So probably this version, the list was, specified that it's with his Lamentation. So somehow, adjusted to the Vulgate order. So that would make sense. So if we have an earlier version of that canonical list, then that might be original to Damasus. So
Sure.
I'm absolutely open to it. Am I convinced?
What are you leaning towards? Yeah, what are you leaning towards?
I don't think the list was made up because, why would you make up this list? If you
it doesn't make sense to make it up.
It doesn't make sense because if you have the North African councils, which are, the Council of Hippo is really just a decade later.
Just a decade later. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't need to make a list up. You don't need
to. Why do you want to make another list from another council? If it would be like a century earlier, like let's say 250 or something, okay, that might be be a good argument that it's fake because now that's a century earlier. But if it's really just a decade earlier, why making it up? Why just not hearkening to North African councils, which, of course, those decrees from the North African councils were sent to Rome for the Pope to put a stamp on it, to prove that, yes, that's the list. So I'm more positive that a list of scriptures was laid out in the Council of Rome. But, it's just, when it comes to evidence, it's just what we have. We have some kind of different versions and versions with later interpolations and so on.
Yeah, no, I'm completely with you there. Great point. Phenomenal point you made there. Let me see. And yeah, you're right. I kind of waver back and forth between my thoughts on that. But to be quite honest with you, as I've noted many times over, we don't need that to be to show the canon is very early. We've got the North African Code right there in the very same century. Just a decade later, right there, 393, 397, and then the Carthaginian one that repeats it in 419, I believe.
And Pope Innocent.
And Pope St. Innocent, yeah. Yeah, that's right there in the 400s, right? I forgot.
What year 405. Yeah.
Okay, yes. I was going to say 404, 405.
Yeah, so Rome isn't really a game changer in this, so you can just stick to the North African councils and Innocent, then you're fine.
And which is why I said a few days ago when a few of those boneheads came up, I said, I don't need Council of Rome 382. I don't need it. And they thought, oh, well, look, we got man. I don't need it. I don't need Rome 382. I can argue for it. But if it is going to cause me to waste a lot of time, I don't need to. I can utilize the North African code. And with the utilization of the North African code, you've got the canon very early on right there. So I don't need Rome. And I think that is the issue that these people don't know any better about.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Yeah, I don't think they know better, do they?
Yeah, exactly. By the way, we got very good questions in the chat
We do.
the Apocrypha Apocalypse as well.
Do we really?
Yeah.
Okay. Guys, make sure you hit @ on the Apocrypha Apocalypse, and David will check them out. Because, guys, usually when Gary is here and over the Apocrypha Apocalypse, he'll tell me, hey, man, we got it over here. But Gary is not here today, guys. He won't be here. So
I can probably read the first one. So it says,
yes, please do.
Why doesn't the Catholic Church accept 3rd Maccabees?
Let me see if I can find it. That's over there in the Apocrypha Apocalypse?
Yes. It's from ASBA 8048.
I am looking for it. Okay.
ASBA.
Well, if you can read it, and I'll try and find it. Because, guys, remember, I am on patristic pillars. And Gary, when he's here, is always helping reading over there. But I can't find it. So go ahead, brother. You want to tackle it? We'll.
And then we have, by the way, a super chat over there as well.
Yeah, that one I do see. John Betts, near and dear brother.
Yeah.
By the way, John. Shout out to John. You got it? Do you have it? Hold on, man. Hold on. Let me get mine, man. Hold on. No, don't tell me you don't have it.
I need to get it. Wait a second.
You get it. I want to give John a shout out, guys. So I gotta get up and walk over here. Thank the good Lord, my headphones are very long, and I got it right here. And I want to give a shout out to the brother John. Thank you so much, John, who is an incredible, phenomenal supporter of ministry. He's a near and dear friend, guys. He sent us a gift that is amazing, second to none. What an incredible, it is one of my favorite icons ever, right there, up there with the phenomenal St. Ephraim one. This is what he gifted us. All of the authors, look at that, man, look at that. All of the authors of Holy Scripture, an icon of it. Look at that. Incredible. I want to give you a shout out. Thank you, Brother John. You are incredible. That is an amazing icon. I got it way back there. I got it. I had to go get it. But I've got it over there. I've got it in display. It is one of my favorite ones. There you go, man. I got mine in the plastic, too. I got it right here, man. I love it, man. Isn't it beautiful?
It's so nice. It's so beautiful that I don't want to, take it out from the plastic.
I'm with you there, too, man. I got it in the plastic, too. And it really does fit in with what we do. Defending the canon. Debating the canon. It really does fit in. There you go.
Legacy icons. John, thank you. Thank you if you're watching. Absolutely, this is phenomenal. You got Tobit there, you got Sirach there, and of course Baruch as well. So all the authors of both the Old and New Testament.
Love it. I love it, John. Thank you so much, brother. Enormous shout out to the brother John. And don't worry, guys and gals, we will snag all of your questions. Don't worry, we'll get them. Because it seems like it's a sleepy Saturday morning, man. People are in bed. They're under the covers, and they don't want to come up. That's all right. We'll take your questions. But if you do want to come back here and debate or ask us something, we'll take that as well. You want to tackle the Maccabees one? Because I couldn't find that one. You want to tackle that one?
Yeah. So why 3rd Maccabees isn't in the canon? Well, because it wasn't received, if you want the short answer. But if you want to go with the historical evidence, then it's very scant. It's just problematic because no one seems to use it in any particular way as scripture is used, or maybe not used at all. Because I'm not even sure whether there are some persuasive allusions to 3rd Maccabees. When it comes to lists, there really is just one, and that's the 85th Apostolic Canon, which we know is very problematic. Gary just had a chill stream not very, probably a month ago. And so we showed how many problems you have with the 85th Apostolic Canon. It mentions Maccabees 3 books. Now, there's another problem. Which ones are those 3 books? We certainly know there's 1st and 2nd because those were received basically by all. But When it comes to the third, what if that's first, second, and fourth?
Right. Yeah.
Or first, second, and third. So that's even not clear. But of course, many authors assume that by the three is meant first, second, and third Maccabees.
Yeah.
And regarding, some kind of allusions or quotations, I think we have one probably distant one from the Antiochian church, which is somewhat possible because the 85th apostolic canon seems to be composed in the Syriac church,
Yeah.
or somewhere in that region. So that might be an indication. But other than that, we don't have anything.
Yeah.
So of course we have manuscripts. We do have manuscripts, but manuscripts won't lead you anywhere pretty
Yeah.
much because if you want to go with manuscripts, then you have all sorts of other books there, and you got four Maccabees there.
Yeah.
So
Psalm 151, odes.
yeah.
Yeah. You got all kinds of things there.
So in terms of the historical data or the available data, there's nothing out there which would
Yep.
make us think or believe that third Maccabees was received as canonical. Looking at the Eastern churches today, that's again, we don't know how it crept into the canonical list, but
No.
that's Eastern churches are a mystery for pretty
Yeah.
much even the Easterners as well.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt about that. And yeah, you bring up a really good point there, and I really want to hammer home that point. Audience, that was the way he laid that out was phenomenal. In that, yeah, you do have a third Maccabees appearing in some manuscripts, but of course you even have odes, and you even have fourth Maccabees. You have other stuff too. Another thing that we've got to put forth, that we got to hammer home this point, and Brother David knows this. Look, the canon is determined by the church through the guidance of the Holy Spirit, not by manuscripts, not by a manuscript proximity, because manuscripts can have all kinds of things there. So with that in mind, it was never, and I can say this with certainty, and Brother David will confirm with me, it was never received with universal liturgical or ecclesiastical reception. It just doesn't have that. It never did. It was never universally read liturgically. And I can tell you that with certainty. Isn't that right, David?
Yeah, absolutely. Certainly the West didn't receive it in any terms. Even when it comes to manuscripts, of course, we have never recovered a full codex of the Old Latin. We just have a few books scattered throughout later manuscripts here and there, which come very late from the 7th, 8th century or something like that.
Yep.
So as far as we can reconstruct from those, the Old Latin or the Vetus Latina, third Maccabees wasn't there. So
no, it wasn't.
How could that be universal if it's omitted in the whole West? And
yeah.
As I said, okay, you can point to the great codices, but that's just not, it just doesn't fly if you have other books there as well.
No, it doesn't fly at all. And the other point to add, as you know very well, it is not there. You don't have it in the North African Code, not included in any kind of fantasy land. It is not there in the North African Code in Carthage 393, Hippo 393. Carthage 397 or Carthage 419. It definitely isn't there at Florence. It's not part of the Florentine canon or Trent at all. So, yeah, simply not canonical. Brother David, do you know the patristic usage of it is scant, right? It's not very significant, right?
Yes, as I said, there's one Antiochian figure.
Now, right around the North African Code and beyond, I'm not aware of many. Definitely, you can't even fill one hand, as far as I know, in terms of patristic authors that would have utilized it, right?
No. I don't know of anyone. No.
That's odd. Yeah, so definitely not a canonical book, not not biblical. the early fathers recognized first and second Maccabees, and yeah. I mean, for people that may be wondering as well, exactly what is third Maccabees? As far as I know, doesn't it even have historical anomalies in it as well?
No.
Right. I mean,
it doesn't. It has nothing to do with the Maccabees.
Right. It does. That has nothing to do with it, right? It has nothing to do with it. Yeah. So it very odd for me. I remember when I read it, when I went over it and I studied it, it doesn't feel like a Maccabean book, does it?
No, not at all. I mean, I encourage anyone, just read it.
Yeah? Oh yeah, read it.
Read it for yourself. 4 Maccabees does have something to do with Maccabees, because it's a homily, if I'm not mistaken, but it does touch upon the Maccabean martyrs, but that comes late. That was certainly first century AD or something like that, maybe second. Third Maccabees seems to be written prior to Christ, but yeah, that the theme is not Maccabean at all.
No, not at all. And I do encourage people check it out. I do encourage people to read it because hey, you'll expand your knowledge, and what better way to expand your knowledge than to look at a book that certain people do argue and do think is canonical, but very clearly we do not believe it to be canonical. And rightly so. It doesn't have that what we would call that patristic pedigree. So yeah, rightly so. It should be rejected. And to add to that, I think I'm not sure that all Orthodox receive it as canonical either, do they? Not all of them, at least. Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah, well, I think it's in the Bible for all the Orthodox, but not all Orthodox will receive it as inspired scripture.
Right, right.
Even though it's not inspired for some Eastern Orthodox, they will still have it in their Bible.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about that. Great point there. And we've got the brother John back here. I want to bring up the brother John, bring you up in just one moment, brother. Let me just comment on this first and give a shout out to James. James, thank you for your support. The Lord bless you, my friend. Thank you for your support. Laudetur Jesus Christus. There's a video with somebody with, I think he tried to say Kruger there. I think so. But yeah, talking about the self-authenticating canon from 7 months ago. I should get the 3 of you in my channel to refute him. Yeah, we'd be up for it, man. Let's get it done, James. Hit us up, man. Just make sure you hit me up or hit David up. Hey, man, you got access to us in the group, man. And we'll make sure to get Gary on board. We'll make sure to get Gary on board by the grace of God. But yeah, we'd love to. Are you aware of that video? The one he's talking about, David?
I saw that video, but I didn't go through it so far. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Does it look any good?
So a couple of Oriental Orthodox. I think Subdeacon Daniel Kakish is there as well.
In that video with Kruger?
Yeah. No. Sorry.
Oh,
I'm talking about another video.
all right. I'm like, what on earth? I don't think. Oh, you got me there, man. I'm like, what?
Sorry, because in the private chat, John was,
Oh yeah, let me bring up brother John. Let me bring him up. God bless you, John, and God bless you, AB. Love you, my friend. If you want to come back here and you want to, we can do devil's advocate.
39th heretic, right?
There we go, man. Yeah, man. Come on back here, guys. Pulverize our brain. Ask us anything, or if you are part of the Evangelical Alliance, Edgar Pachueco, we know you're watching, or anyone else there, you want to challenge us, hey, come on back here. And we'll let AB loosen you. You don't want AB. AB is very, very bright, guys. You don't want us to let him loosen you. Let's bring the brother John. John, how you doing, my man? How you doing, brother?
Hey, good afternoon, guys. How are you doing?
Phenomenal, brother. How you been, my friend?
Pretty good. Very, very busy. That's why
good.
I haven't been around on YouTube for quite a while.
Yeah, we hadn't seen him, right, David? I'd wonder what happened.
No. Are you teaching nowadays, or?
And I'm sorry.
Are you giving lectures or teaching?
No, I'm teaching. So, and everything got pretty wild recently. So, between my job at school and then I've been doing catechism as well. So everything just kind of picked up. But yeah, It's an interesting discussion. I'm glad I caught you guys, especially near the beginning, because I've been catching the last time near the end or a few hours after. And it's like,
Sure.
I missed another one. So it's good to see you guys here live.
It's great to meet you.
It's out of the plastic now, John.
There
It's
you
out
go,
of the
man.
plastic.
There you go, man. I love it, man.
That's good. That's good. Now you just got to find a home for it, man.
Right.
Wherever your prayer
prominent
corner
place.
is.
Yeah.
I have that one in my prayer corner too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad,
really
I'm glad
appreciate
you guys like it. You know,
it is very special considering what we do and considering what we have dedicated our life to doing in ministry and defending the canonicity of those books. It really is special. Thank you for that, brother.
Hey, John, I mean, you're from Michigan, right?
No, actually, I'm from Virginia.
You're Virginia?
Yeah.
I thought you're in Michigan as well. Okay.
I did too.
No,
Yeah.
Gary, I saw that Gary had mentioned that a while ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, that must be a different John, not me.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So
we got to work on getting that barbecue set up, man, and we got to get you there.
Yeah, I'm coming all the way from the East Coast, man.
We gotta. Well, it's not as bad as coming from Europe, so.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
bad.
True. Yeah,
that's true. Have you both been?
I've been phenomenal, as you probably know, very, very busy, but in a very very good way, busy. But working on a lot of material. Happy to be working on the material, and now working on a new project. I haven't announced it publicly yet, but it was requested by one of our great supporters here, and I've never done it before. So when it was requested, I'm like, man, you know what? That is a really, really cool idea. I want to do that. So. Started working on it last night. I've been working on it in the morning, and it'd probably take a little bit longer, but going to go over all of the Ave Maria in Greek, all of it, every line, every single line. What do the words mean? It will be a very tall task, so it's going to take a lot of time, and I mean a lot, many hours. But we're putting in a lot of effort. We want to look at what does every Greek word mean? How is it used elsewhere? But not only that, I plan to do the video as well in Spanish. And then we plan to also show the patristic usage of how they interpreted the Ave Maria. And then we're going to go into scholarship, and then a whole 2-hour video presentation comparing the fullness of grace of St. Stephen and that of Mother Mary. So I'm excited about that. That is one thing that I wanted to take a little bit of time to announce right now.
Muy bien. Me gusta el título en español y inglés también.
¿Hablas español?
Sí, un poco.
Un poquito, sí. Yeah, you speak a little bit of Spanish. Not that bad. Not
Very
bad.
Good.
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. I give you Spanish. Look, man, a Spanish speaker's probably going to give my Spanish a 50, man. I don't know, man.
No, I've been out of practice for quite a while. I used to speak it a lot, but
well, I'm kind of forced to, being where I'm at, man, on the border, so I don't lose it.
Oh, well,
then,
yeah.
And then, hey,
border, yeah.
My wife's family. I mean, that's all.
Exactly.
There you go. So I got a little bit of an advantage there.
Perfect. Perfect. How about you, David? What you been up to?
Yeah, it's much better now because I had to finish my. I had to finish my thesis, my dissertation, in December. So I finished that. I had to finish my residency in October. So it was busy, but now it's much better. So I have more time researching the digital canon.
Awesome there, Dr. David.
Thanks.
In more ways than one, I hear. So that's good. That's great.
He's a canonical sniper, man. That's what we call him.
Exactly. Well, hey,
I'm learning from the beast.
Doctor, so why not?
Yeah, man. No, we all learn from Gary, man. Gary's a humble giant, man. We all learn from Gary. Gary's the man. He's the one.
Exactly.
And John, you're still writing some blogs.
Yeah, I got into Bible in a Year now. I started that a few days ago, and I've been kind of blogging on it. Just not anything serious. Just whatever came across my mind as I go through every day, and but I haven't had time for a lot of other stuff.
Busy.
looked on X on or Twitter for various things. I know, like I can't remember his screen name, but I think it's Kevin Fernandez. I don't know if it's
Oh yeah, I know who he is.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, he's
Since
been blogging
33.
about different Protestant apologists.
Okay.
I guess near the 16th, 17th century,
Mm.
who've been basically taking the same self-authenticating canon, like you were talking about.
Mhm.
And so that looked interesting, but I didn't get a chance to go through all of that yet. Other than that, I mean, I caught Subdeacon's Daniel's speech with or discussion with some other Oriental Orthodox the other day on the papacy, and
Oh, that's right. That was your question. That was
yeah,
your
that
question.
was the first time I've had a video in a gosh, couple weeks, at least one that long. So
Mm.
that was kind of enjoyable just to watch an hour-long video. So
Oh.
that was good. I actually had time to do it. So
Did they deal with Ephesus there?
yeah, they did. It
Okay.
was they didn't deal with everything,
Mhm.
but they dealt with a lot, and some of it actually was quite surprising because they shot down some things from Protestants. You hear from Protestants and also Eastern Orthodox. You know,
Mhm.
as far as did Peter go to Rome, and
Yeah, they can. They're very they're very clear that
yeah,
and we love our Oriental Orthodox friends. They're very clear that if you are Chalcedonian, you've got the papacy to contend with. They're clear about that. They believe that. They
Yeah,
teach
that's
that.
true.
that's
but
exactly it.
but then I'm sorry, I've got to turn it around on them. So I got to
Yeah,
turn around, and I got to point at them and tell them they're in a world of trouble because Ephesus it shows that they're not being consistent because it teaches papal supremacy is taught there, and not only that, it's taught in perpetuity. The language utilized there indicates that the Bishop of Rome is going to continue in his successors in perpetuity to the end, and that's Ephesus. And clearly, they don't follow that model today. So they're not only if they want to point the finger at their Eastern friends, we're going to point the finger at both, and we're going to say, well, hey, you got to hold up your end of the bargain too. And they don't hold up their end of the bargain, but
yeah, they surprised me, you know, because they actually flat out said that the Vatican One papacy is there in Leo,
now
and
now
I was like,
the one
whoa, I
thing
never heard that before from
the one thing
any kind
that
of
stuns
Orthodox.
me the
So
one thing that stuns me more than anything is that people keep coming to me telling me that they hadn't heard that before, but they've been saying that on my show for 2 to 3 years, man. Where
yeah,
you guys
I
been,
must
man?
have missed that because I'll be honest, most of what I
Brother,
watch
there's
in
a
these
whole
rooms,
show just titled Chalcedon, and they've been saying
uh,
this for about 3 years on my channel.
I
You can look it up.
honestly I have not seen every video that you've done or Gary's done, because y'all have hundreds of hours,
We do.
but
No, we got a lot, man. I know that, man. But
yeah, you do.
look up
You've
the
got a
ones we
lot of good
got.
stuff, and
Look at the ones we
I'm
have
kind
with
of
the
biased
Oriental
towards the
Orthodox.
canon stuff.
But
Yeah,
John
yeah,
saw
yeah.
all my videos, the Esdras
Yeah,
That's
series.
yeah,
all
So
those
good.
that's
you've watched, man. What's going on? Those you've watched, hater. I don't
Yeah,
blame you, man.
yeah,
Those Esdras, I don't blame you. Those Esdras videos are second to none. Those
yeah.
Esdras
I
videos.
went into the weeds on Ezra and Baruch and just had a blast. So with
Yeah.
David, it was great.
it all started with you, John. So
Hey, I
with
loved it.
your
I mean, I
Here's
was
the link,
geeking
by the
out
way,
like
John.
crazy.
I'm putting the link right there. It was over 2.5 years ago where I had Oriental Orthodox on, and they, before they ever even did this show, they spoke about this in my channel. So you're going to find it right there. It is on. I provided the link for you. Check it out, man.
All right, awesome. I will definitely check that out because that when I heard that in the discussion, it really surprised me.
Oh yeah, no, they definitely they agree that. I mean, and how do you argue against what Leo says, Pope Saint Leo the Great?
Yeah,
It's very clear. I mean, very, very
basically.
clear. Yeah.
and and it was, you know, but I like Subdeacon Daniel anyways. I mean,
Oh yeah.
I've seen enough with him and with you, and
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
they're great.
together in different collabs they all done.
Oh, they're great.
So
I got nothing bad to say about Sodikin or any of them. I'm on, to be very clear, all of their I'm on good terms with all of them. In fact, Agan, I'm on good terms with him, with Subdeacon, with Vartan, with all of them. And in fact, man, my schedule is so crazy for the year, but soon I'll be flying out to film with that same channel, the guys that hosted them. I'm going to be flying out with Father Kappas and other Chalcedonians, and we're going to be filming a response to them. And then we're going to do a whole show where we're going to dialogue in a friendly way back and forth. So we're in good terms, man. There is zero bad blood. Subdeacon will tell you there is zero bad blood. We got no bad blood. Unless we talk about sports, man. Sorry, Subdeacon. I can't get on board with the Lakers, man.
I can see it. But yeah, it was actually an enjoyable discussion, and I would love to see some of y'all discuss some of the issues. But then again, you may have already on that link you gave. So I'll
you're gonna love that link that we gave. You're gonna love it. Check it out, man.
Absolutely, I will. Well, listen, guys, I gotta go. I wish y'all the best. Thank you for everything.
No, thank you, brother. Thank you for the great questions.
God bless.
God bless you, my friend.
Yeah.
Take care, brother.
William, I think we need to pin the link to StreamYard in the Apocrypha Apocalypse channel.
Let me snag it.
If you're able.
I don't.
By the way, we
have to log in. Hold on. Let me go. Let me try. You know what? Let me just log into the Apocrypha Apocalypse. Can you maybe hold on? Let me pull up a chat. Maybe if you can take it really fast, I'll go do that.
Mm-hmm.
First off, I do want to call out Asbat, who sent the super chat at the Apocrypha Apocalypse. God bless you. I think that is the one. Is that the one? Okay, gotcha. Okay, cool deal.
Yeah.
Apostle Yannick Aka claimed that used clothing is a sin. What on earth, man? Oh, man. I don't know, man. That I guess a lot of people are sinning, man. A lot of people, especially if you got brothers and sisters, you had children, and you pass down their clothing to their siblings. I guess that is a grave sin. Then that's wild, man. I don't know why some people would make those horrible arguments. Man, Shannon, shout out, God bless you. I want to say, James Tay says, hi, happy feast of St. Anthony, St. Prissa. Thank you, brother. And Hollywood Big Boss says, great job annihilating tarot card reader Carlos. He's talking about Carlos Veloz and Oscar, two Spanish-speaking apologists that came to my channel to try and argue the canon. Two of them. They did horribly, man. Thank you, Hollywood Big Boss. Thank you.
Yeah, but the canon wasn't closed until Council of Trent.
Give me a break, man. My goodness. David, could you maybe talk about that a little bit for a few seconds? I'm going to hop over to the Apocrypha Apocalypse, and I'm going to pin that link. Let me go ahead.
Sure. I was like, Bro, William, you actually addressed that, right? You said, what did Trent do? I mean, just read the minutes or the acts of the council. You know, everybody's talking about Florence, like everybody, you know. And they say, look, we need to accept Florence because that was an ecumenical council prior that we're not smarter than the fathers before us who received the canon in an ecumenical council. So that's the given. That is given. That's the canon. So that's what we're going with, right?
Yep.
In other words, it was already closed. It was already decided. There was no discussion about it, right? Some people were like trying to push this argument, oh, but we should make a distinction between these books and those books. That was like one or two individuals in the council, you know, but nevertheless, at the end of the day, everybody voted the same way. So everybody said, yes, all those books, all the 47, right. Or the 47 books are inspired. Yeah, I'm sometimes confused because just lately I was looking at the Ukrainian catechism, which says, you know, it's 45, but they're separate. They separate the letter of Jeremiah. So nevertheless, basically everybody voted the same way because everybody was convinced all those books are inspired. All of them are received. It was given, it's given, it was passed down as this, no discussion about it. So period. It cannot be open, therefore.
There's no way. Because
there was no way to discuss it, you know?
No.
So.
And this is outrageous. And I got to be honest, guys. Maybe a lot of people don't like my honesty, but I have gone over. I am able to hear in Hollywood Big Boss. I don't know if you are. Maybe you're probably bilingual. You know Spanish. I've gone over to the other world, if you will, Spanish-speaking world, and I've heard what they are saying over there, why on earth are the Catholics in the Spanish-speaking world not shutting that down? You guys got to do better over there. I went and I heard videos and debates in the canon debates by Catholic people, and they were bad arguments. Guys, you got to read. Catholic people, you got to read. I heard people debating Veloz and Oscar. These guys are neophytes. You shut them down without even breaking a sweat. But you got to read. You got to know the material. You've got to read. These are horrible arguments, man. Terrible.
Yeah, I mentioned, Gary, one big problem which might, mess up everything. And as you said, people don't read. And of course, they especially don't read if something's not translated into English. So unfortunately, we have the Acts of Trent only in the original language in Latin.
Right.
And nobody bothers reading that. Of course, I do understand that. But if you are going to make these stupid arguments, then first at least take your time and go at least through those important section related to it. And
we have some of it translated to English. Where was it? Is that in Mali?
Well, I'm not sure.
Like little pieces, not
I
lot.
I know who's the guy.
Not Mali.
But that's not a translation. That's
no, just little pieces. That's it. It's not a translation. There, as far as I know, there is no English translation.
Yeah, like word for word,
No, there's no. There's no.
I mean, I can. I mean,
I would be.
That's a lot of work.
Shocked. It'd be a lot of work, and we got to remind you guys. Guys, let me remind you all. Very often, I have people tell me, "Well, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that in English?" Guys, if you all knew the amount of work that went into translating and writing, hundreds upon hundreds of hours, and if the demand isn't there and if people are not supporting ministry, then the people can't do it. I've had people tell me, professors, well, hey, look, if there's no demand and I don't get paid, well, how am I going to feed my family? I mean, do I go poor and do I live in the streets as I'm translating it? I mean, really, it's difficult. It takes a lot of time.
So the closest you have in English is the history of the Council of Trent by Hubert Yedin.
Okay.
That's a 2-volume set, but I mean that's still not a translation. It's rather a narrative.
I'm not sure if I have that book. Do you have that book?
Yeah, it's on archive.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might have that.
A history of the Council of Trent, Hubert Yedin. So.
I do have that. Yes, I do have that. Yeah, that would be the closest, really.
I think, yeah.
Wow.
The best we have, but we have the new English encyclopedia or New Catholic Encyclopedia, and it says Esdras was removed or something. So that's authoritative,
Yeah, and they'll quote from it as if the New Catholic Encyclopedia was put out by some bishop or by a pope or something with a stamp of approval from the highest authority. They'll quote it. I can never wrap my mind around this stuff, David. I can never.
It's just garbage. Yeah.
No, it's bad, really bad arguments, garbage arguments.
Yes.
Terrible.
We got a very good question with him, by the way, in the chat, and I think it's very appropriate for you to answer.
All right, let's do it.
Boritsua Samurai 97 says, "Hey guys, I wanted to ask how you find and detect fake quotes. I usually just buy and read all of person's works, but that can be laborious. 2 fake quotes."
Oh. To be fair, guys, I don't know. We've been doing this so long. We've been doing it so long that we read and we know the writings of the person that our ears will perk up and David will say, "Hey, wait, that doesn't sound like Augustine." Or, "Hey, wait, that doesn't sound like Jerome." And I will do the same. We'll say, "Wait, that doesn't sound like Jerome." Or, "Wait, hey, that doesn't sound like Augustine." We just know. And then when our ears perk up, we go and we look, and if it isn't there in the English, and then we'll always look for a critical edition or the best English translation when available. And if you can't find them anywhere, we do all of our homework. Well, then you got a fake quote right there, and they're not hard to use, but you've got to know how to utilize the tools, guys. I got to tell you, meaning when we do the work here, we rely on critical editions when available, and we rely on the very best source material to bust people. We've busted a lot. I busted Anthony Rogers about 3 times, and now the brother David busted him on a quote not long back. And, we've busted people many times over, guys. We've busted them a lot of times, but of course, it requires work. You got to know how to use the critical editions when available, and you got to know how to do the research. But we've found very often people try to get away with fake quotes, don't they, David?
Right. And as William said, it's basically raises a suspicion, that, that doesn't seem to be from Augustine or from Gregor of Nazianzus, talking about a Holy Mother like that,
Right. Yeah.
When it comes to Anthony Rogers, I was like, wait a minute, this really cannot be real,
Especially coming from a Cappadocian, when
Right.
his fellow Cappadocians are very robust in arguing for the perpetual virginity of Mother Mary. It doesn't sound normal. And here's the other thing that made my ears perk up. And I remember when Brother David sent it to me, I was on the road, but I remember that we've got a book coming up on the perpetual virginity of Mary, Father Coppus and myself.
Mhm.
And in one of the chapters, Gregory of Nyssa is part of our chapter of the fathers that teach that Mary had a vow. So unless Gregory of Nyssa smacked his head on the wall and woke up and had a dual personality, it's fake, and it was fake. But we can tell. We know this stuff. Here's another thing. Guys like Anthony Rogers are frauds. They don't care to do the work. They don't care about doing the work.
No.
We care about our reputation, and we care about you all going out there and using fake quotes. We don't want you to do that. But I got to be honest with you guys. The people that we've caught, they don't care. We've caught Anthony Rogers more than once. He didn't remove those. He didn't remove them. I caught Ryan more than once. He didn't remove that. He continued. They continue and they persist in their lies using fake quotes. Sorry, I just don't respect that at all. I can't, David. I can't. And
Right.
I've caught them in the Spanish-speaking world as well. On the air, I caught Carlos using the fake Laodicea.
And I just checked, because I responded to Anthony
Probably still
because
got it there, right?
he said, "Oh, I have to take my time, I have to take a look. Okay, I just forgot the reference." So I wrote him, "Okay, unless you will find the reference, will you remove this, this ad from you?" And it's still there,
Still there. Yeah, I figured.
still there,
Yeah.
doesn't care about the truth. I mean, this is the clear sign, guys. If you see these fake quotes
Yep.
still floating around on their channel, and they know they don't have the reference, but they still got it uploaded there on their channel, that's a red flag. I mean, they're
Enormous red
not
flag.
honest. They're
No, they're not.
They don't have any good intention. That was why I was so, angry. It's just unbelievable.
They don't have good intentions. They're not honest. They're in this for their lemmings to for clickbait. But I hate to break it them, people aren't as stupid as they want them to be. People are beginning to do research, and then when people realize that they're wrong, they say, "Okay, well, if they lied to me about this, what else have they lied to me about?" And they begin going to do research,
Yeah.
and it doesn't end well for them.
Yeah.
It doesn't end well for them at all. I do want to give you a shout out. Thank you, Hollywood Big Boss. And he says, "Thank you for Hebrews 4. He is the one that requested. And I did an incredibly deep dive into Hebrews 4. Part 2, Hollywood Big Boss. Where you been, man? I got it on Patreon, man. Where you been, man? It's been on Patreon for a week. I will upload that one to the members probably in a few days. But I did put together a whole Hebrews 4 collection showing you Hebrews 4 from the Bible annihilates the Sabbath day holding argument. And then in part 2, I go over all of the early fathers. That took a while because, as you know, as Brother David can tell you, there are not a lot of commentaries in Hebrews. There are not. So it took a long time. And I did it for you, Hollywood Big Boss. You're going to love it. And shout out to you for the gifted membership. Thank you for your support, brother. Who got it? Dev and 1694 got it. Hollywood, let me know if you like part 2. When you check it out. James said, forget about that video. I checked again. It was only 10 minutes with no Kruger. Oh, just what Kruger taught.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
I
a
thought it was a Kruger
video
video,
that I mean, it's about Kruger's arguments,
but he doesn't
but
come out.
no. It's actually John. The
No.
John
Oh,
Streamrolled by William
oh, Cranman. Oh my goodness.
Cranman. Yeah.
Oh, he's one of the worst. Oh man.
Yeah, I mean, I was interacting with him several
No.
times in his comments because for a while he was like very into the canon issue.
Oh,
That's
man.
just bad. It's just terrible. And,
Awful, really bad. Look
yeah.
at what I mean, and I'm not bragging at all, guys, but when I debated him and he tried to get into the canon issues, he did very poorly. Very, very poorly. And I don't think John ever came up with any good argument.
Hey, he got streamrolled. I mean,
He admitted it, man. He admitted it. He admitted it, man. He did, man. Dun64, shout out to you. I'll talk to Cameron tonight. Whenever he goes live again, we will make you a moderator, Dun64. The Lord bless you, brother. We'll do it, man. We'll make you a moderator. And yeah, I'll put you in the list. We've got multiple that are in line for a wrench soon. Don't worry. We're probably going to make 5 more in the year 2026 because people tend to vanish, man. They become moderators and they vanish. They vanish, David, and then they appear like a year and a half later. They're like, hi. Dude, you became a moderator, and as soon as you got made a moderator, you vanished. You went and you threw a party, and you never came back again. So don't worry, guys. We're going to be making more moderators. Let me take this one as you let me give my thoughts, and I'll let you give your thoughts. I'm going to get a refill very briefly. Shout out to Lena Molina over there at the Apocrypha Apocalypse. We made a moderator yesterday. Thank you for your support, brother. It says self-authenticating Bible. Sounds like a very Islamic argument for the Quran regarding the surahs. An ahistorical epistemological problem comes up. Without a doubt, it's a mess, man. But you find many in the Reformed. I'm trying to remember. I know Turretin does. The real Turretin made that argument. Did Calvin make that argument?
Calvin, yeah.
He
Calvin.
did, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Turretin would have gotten it from Calvin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But it's a little bit different argument. It's still like authenticating. Yeah.
It's a mess, though, isn't it?
But yeah. But it's a distinct one from Kruger's argument. Yeah.
Oh yeah. No. Oh yeah. I agree. It is distinct, but I got to be honest, guys. No disrespect to Kruger or any of them. They're all bad. I mean, you do not.
Yeah.
I cannot imagine how you can do that.
Essentially, if you take Kruger's argument, he appeals to tradition.
Oh, there's no doubt.
That's what he does. I mean, and if that's the case, if tradition proves canon, then tradition must be infallible.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep. Yeah, no doubt about that. And you got a big issue, Lena Molina. You've got an enormous issue trying to argue for a self-authenticating canon. Number one, it doesn't make any sense at all. Because, yes, people are probably rolling their eyes. And, hey, you're going to be rolling your eyes till the end of time because we repeat it over and over. It is true. There is no inspired table of contents in the Bible. There is none. The Bible never lists which books belong in the Bible. That's why we named the show the way we did today. It never tells you how to identify. I would love for you to show me where Isaiah or Exodus or Numbers or the Gospel of St. Matthew, the Pauline letters, show me where they show you how to identify an inspired book. I'd love for that, right, David? We'd love to find that. Where does the Bible show you that? The Bible, here's the other issue. Where does the Bible, Scripture, where does it show you or claim that believers can infallibly recognize the canon on their own? No. In fact, Scripture presupposes authoritative teachers in authoritative positions, not to just anybody, any Tom, Dick, or Harry off the street, not at all. That is why you read in 1 Timothy 3, Lena Molina, that it is the church of the living God, the pillar and foundation of truth. Because if Scripture, if the Bible were self-authenticating, I got to be honest, David, that verse would never be necessary, would it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And here's the thing, even if there would be a list of books in the Bible, let's say Revelation would list all the books, those which were written prior or something like that.
Yeah.
It still begs the question: how you know Revelation is inspired? So
Yeah, how do you know
that
that?
wouldn't help. So
Yeah, you got a big issue there. How do you know that? And the issue is this: look, don't give me that. Well, here's what I've heard very often, David, and you've heard it too. Oh, well, when I read Revelation, it sounds inspired, like the Pauline letters. And well, how do you know that all those Pauline letters are inspired to begin with? If you got to tell me that Revelation is inspired because of these other books, well, how do you know those other books are inspired? And you go round and round and round, and you end up right at the beginning. Unfortunately, you're in a race car that can't start because Jesus didn't hand the apostles, he didn't hand them a New Testament. He established a teaching authority, a living, breathing church, and a succession of bishops. That's why he says, he who hears you hears me. And as you know very well, as we taught here many times over, before any New Testament book was ever even written, the early church, the church preached, they baptized, they celebrated the Holy Eucharist at Mass. And look, the church precedes the New Testament. Logically and historically, you need the church to discern the canon. And without that church, you run into a big issue, don't you, David?
of course, yeah.
You do, without a doubt. All right, let's tackle this. And by the way, we're going to go backstage in a moment. We got a brother back here, and anyone else, if you all, how long more do you got, David? You got at least an hour, maybe 50 minutes, 40, 30?
Oh, like 20 minutes.
20. Okay. You go 20, and then I'll continue another 30, and then we'll wrap it up.
Sure.
Sounds good. Then mythical elliptical. Thank you, brother. All right, then we'll move it to tomorrow. Calvinist William is going to debate them on the canon. And remember, guys, that'll be a members stream. But I got to tell you guys, remember that Calvinist William, number one, he drinks regular Coke. He's table sugar. The guy's nasty. And don't forget, Calvinist William will use fake quotes. And if you don't catch me doing it, well, catch me if you can. I'll get away with it. I am going to use fake quotes, guys. And no, mythical and AB. No, man, I know the cat's out of the bag with Laodicea already. I'm not going to use Laodicea. I'm going to be filthier. In fact, you won't even know it unless you've been hearing our shows and you catch me. But I'm going to be filthy. I'm going to be Calvinist William is what I'm going to be. I'll move it to tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I'll move it to tomorrow for you, mythical. I'll do it for you, my man.
Hey, William, what was the year you converted?
The year, I want to say it's about 21 years now.
21. Wow.
Yeah, it's been about 21 years now. Yeah.
And you and before that you were a Calvinist.
I sure was.
Or...
Oh yeah.
Since the beginning, like.
Oh yeah, for many years. Man.
Wow.
Oh yeah, so I know what Calvinists believe. I know all the tactics. I know it all, man. I know what they believe, and I become Calvinist William for an evening, man.
And you were a James White fan?
To be honest with you, I really was not a big fan of him. I heard others. I was an enormous fan of Spurgeon, of the typical Reformed, famous preachers of old. I was an enormous fan of Calvin, of course, of the commentaries. I thought those are basically the best that you could ever encounter. But I was as Calvinistic as you could think of, man. So I know how Calvinists think. I know how they think very well. I know how they approach the canon. I know how they approach soteriological issues. And I know how modern day Calvinists view the Marian dogmas too. So you guys be ready, man. Calvinist William is not going to be kind. The guy, remember, and I'm warning them right now, David, I'm going to use fake quotes. Or maybe I'll pluck one word.
At least two.
At least, yeah, man. At least two, man. So just be ready, guys. Just be ready there. And I know they're gonna be ready now. I know it, man. I know it already, man. All right, let's snag this one. If you could snag this one very briefly, I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be back in about a minute, brother. Do you use the didache as authoritative for debates? I'll be right back.
Yeah, well, I don't use it because I don't debate, to be honest. But I think that the case is legit. I mean, I would use it certainly. Would not use it as scripture, of course, but nevertheless, it's still one of the earliest extra biblical documents. Clement is still earlier, first Clement, but Didache is just after Clement, so it's legit, certainly. Didache is very good. And I think there was one particular comment in the chat I wanted to answer as well. Yeah, I saw Tony wrote regarding the Council of Rome that, I like that argument. If the Council of Rome or / Decree of Damascus is a later fraud, why not just appeal to North African councils? Yeah, I think that works, because I really don't see the reason. Why make up a fake, not fake council, but fake decree of the council just 10 years earlier, or 9 years earlier than Hippo, Council of Hippo. Just, if you want to make up a false fake decree, then I would make it up like much earlier. So I would say that the Council of Nicaea, which was ecumenical, that it listed the scriptures. Now that would be a good argument. That would be a good, made up fake decree. But of course, eventually that would be busted, I think. But nevertheless, that would make sense, right? Yeah. So, what do you think about the Didache, William?
I like the Didache. I'll use it to show a lot of stuff, but it uses a deuter. I forgot what quote. What quote does it have? It has a deuterocanonical quote, doesn't it? Or no?
Maybe it harkens to Sirach.
It might harken to Sirach. I don't remember. I like using the Didache to show the Sabbath is false. The Sabbath day keeping. I like that. Eucharistic keeping. I do think it does have its uses. So, depending on what you're talking about, I do like it. They're asking, what is your YouTube channel?
Apocrypha Apocalypse.
There you go, man. There you go. God bless you, William. Why don't you accept the debate? Because I'm not going to go debate on Pachueco's channel. If Pachueco has...
El payaso.
Yeah, el payaso. Si el payaso tiene los cojones, aquí estoy en vivo. Pero todos sabemos, Fernando, que Pacheco no tiene los cojones, y tampoco usted, Fernando. Fernando, como Pacheco, usted es un cobarde. You are a coward as well, brother. Come back here. Instead of telling me, why don't you debate him? Why don't you come debate me? Right? Come on, Fernando. Why do you, instead of throwing somebody else to the pit, because I'm going to butcher him spiritually. He has no chance, even in his own language. That is why Pachueco is running. But instead of throwing Pachueco to the lion, to be feasted on by a lion, well, why do you get the guts and come back here, right? Pero todos sabemos, Fernando, que tampoco tú tienes los cojones. Todos sabemos eso, Fernando.
Talking about debates, by the way, I was watching your debate with Captain,
Oh, how do you like that, man?
Tezariak, or what's his name? Yeah. Mm-hmm. That was a slaughter.
It was brutal, man.
I can't understand why did he go into debate with Sam, because he was already buried. Now it was a bonus,
He's done, man. It was done.
An absolute burial.
And I'm waiting.
Sam twisted his neck with one hand, man.
Yeah, and I'm waiting for him to accept. He wants to debate, from what I can tell. It seems like he wants to debate me on the perpetua virginity of Mary. Well, I think that he'll be a ghost by the time that debate is over.
Especially if he accepts also the Deuterocanon. That's interesting.
He does. Did you hear him in my debate against me? He accepts the Deuterocanon. How on earth? Yeah. And how do you even, I would love to hear his rationale for coming to the canon. But of course, something tells me it won't be a logical one. Something tells me it won't be a logical one at all, man.
So we've got Daniel H in the back.
Yeah, we do. Daniel H. Daniel, how you doing, brother? How you doing, my friend?
How are you, brother? Hey,
doing great,
David.
My friend.
How
great,
are you?
Brother.
Good.
By the way, I don't think you were here earlier. Let me tell you right now, man. Inspired by you, man. We're working on it, brother. You're gonna love it, my friend. You are gonna love it, brother. You there, brother?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, there you go. There you go. What's up, brother? What do you got in your mind, my friend?
So first of all, thank you for the Hail Mary in Greek. This is going to help a lot. At least
Oh,
me
it is
and
going to help a lot.
a few others that I'm chatting with. But for the purpose of this stream, I want to be a Protestant. And,
Okay.
And I want you both to attack me.
We love it.
And
there you go.
I want to try to defend it so that I can debate it a bit properly, right?
Let's do it.
So I'm going to tell you that historically, the canon matches the Jewish Tanakh. Apostolically, Jesus and the apostles endorsed the Hebrew canon. Textually, the Apocrypha lacks prophetic mark. Patristically, the early church fathers were divided. Doctrinally, teaches non-apostolic doctrine. And theologically, scriptures is self-authenticating. So why are you guys defending the deuterocanonical books?
Go for it, David. I'm scared.
Yeah, so I take the first point. Yeah, it does match the Tanakh. So what?
So in the Old Testament, the Jewish people knew the Bible more than they pretty much knew what's in and what's not. So why are you putting stuff that wasn't inside before?
Yeah, so why go with the modern day Jews?
Because these are the ones who survived. So all the others did not. So they must have done something right. So they must have the true word of God. And they must know the real canon.
Okay, so my argument against it would be twofold. First one, so the rabbis, all through the history, for 2,000 years, had the correct Old Testament canon. They were all like universally in an agreement that was the canon, the Old Testament canon, the 22 or 24 books. But the Christians had no clue, right? They were divided. They were struggling. What is in the canon? What is not in the canon? So the Christians are wrong. How do you know then the New Testament is okay? If they were divided on the Old Testament, yet, of course, there were debated books in the New Testament. How do you know the New Testament is correct? First?
So I'll tell you how, all right? It's very easy for me. The four Gospels, it's pretty much quoted more than 600 times with church fathers. So
Okay.
I'm just going to appeal to the church fathers. They're not an authority. I'm just going to appeal to them on what they quote on the New Testament.
Okay.
And I want to reverse engineer the Old Testament from what is quoted in the New Testament with some conditions, of course. The first condition is the book should not contain any error, even if it's quoted in New Testament, like the book of Enoch, for example. And it has to be in mass circulation. So these are my two conditions. And since scripture is self-inspiring, that's enough for me to make the canon.
Yeah, I leave the self-inspiring for William. Back to the question. So, okay, I agree. The Gospels, that there's no dispute about the Gospels, but there are dispute about other books of the New Testament. Jude, Revelation, James, 2nd, 3rd John, 2nd Peter. 2nd Peter is not quoted before Origin.
It's not.
So isn't that an accretion? Wasn't that added later?
No, I'm fine with 2nd Peter. I have no problem with that. I just want to
that's
go
not the
back to the
question.
old canon.
But it was added later because before Origin, nobody quoted 2nd Peter, so it's clearly an accretion.
And that's late.
I'm just playing Ortland now.
Yep.
And the second thing is, of course, I would push back with the Jewish Tanakh, reaching back as far as Christ, because we have archaeological evidence that there were Jews who did consider at least some deuterocanonical books as inspired, and we have the rabbinical Jews quoting Sirach as inspired, the written word of God. So, which already shows that there was a development in the rabbinical Judaism. In other words, it cannot be trusted that the modern day Tanakh reaches back actually prior to Christ. But I don't want to speak the whole time, so I can pass it on, William, and to you, Daniel.
Yeah,
So
here's
go
go ahead, brother. No, I was going to say your argument on modern day Judaism and the canon. The onus is on you to prove that ancient Judaism, the canon of ancient Judaism, lines up with that of modern day Judaism, and there's no way you can do that because number one, there is no single Jewish canon in the time of Christ in the Second Temple period, which is roughly what 500 BC to about 70 AD, David, roughly around there. There is no universally defined list of books. So, and of course, with that in mind, if you're arguing that Judaism it was monolithic and there's one set canon, well, I need evidence of that. And you don't have any evidence.
I will give you evidence. I will give you
Okay.
evidence. So I'm
All right, let me get
saying that of all the Jews, only one tribe survived, only one clan survived, and that clan survived because they had the original, the true canon. So I'm gonna follow their teaching. I don't care what the other Jews had. I only want those Jews. That's why my
Okay, well, you have to show me. Then you're gonna have to show me that one Jewish group survived. So you need to show me evidence in the early period that they had a canon that matches up with modern day Judaism. There's no evidence at all. In fact, the earliest Jewish writer that we have, whose writings are extant in wide form, in terms of a lot of letters and even critical editions, is Josephus, and Josephus doesn't hold to any canon that lines up with modern day Judaism. So you don't have anything. And we're already in the 2nd century. That's well after the time of Christ and well after the time that I can show Judaism is fractured and there are many different beliefs. There is no example of a set canon within the Jewish community at the time of Christ. I need positive evidence rather than you just saying, well, I believe one Jewish group survived and this Jewish group, I go with their standard of the canon. Well, where is it? Where are the quotes? Where's the evidence?
So I will go to the Council of Jamnia for that. No,
there is no Council of Jamnia. That's a fake. Doesn't exist. But I would then press you. I would then press you. Yeah, I would then press you, and I tell you, well, I need evidence that Jamnia was even a real council. No, that was busted. 1800s, David, right? Late 1800s or 1900s.
It was busted 1960s or 17.
My goodness, I thought it was the late 1800s. Yeah. Okay, but that was busted a long time back. People don't argue for that anymore. Yeah,
it was Lewis. Yeah,
right. Yeah.
By the way, you're playing a good Protestant. I like it.
No, I like it, man. Daniel, I love it, Daniel. Keep up, man.
But here's my to your follow up regarding the one.
Yeah, and you've got to you have to press them too, David.
Yeah. So my question would be like, if someone would say, okay, that only the Pharisees survived and they had the Tanakh, nobody argues that they had a different canon. My question would be, why do we see these debates in the Mishnah regarding the school of Shammai, the school of Hillel, because they didn't agree on the scope of the canon? And why do we see even subsequently rabbis quoting Sirach as inspired scripture, even being part of the hagiographa or the writings, which means that's part of the Tanakh? That's explicitly stated by a rabbi in Baba Kama 92b.
Yeah, well, you're using one scholar. I can use another.
No. That's not Scott. That's Jewish literature. That's Talmud. That's Jews.
Mm-hmm.
No, but again, I go back to that point that only one tribe survived in Israel, and I'm using their canon, proving that they had this canon. I can tell you 1,000% that they didn't have the Catholic canon. I don't have to.
Right. So it doesn't matter that the two schools of the Pharisees didn't agree on the canon.
No, I don't care about the two schools because only one school survived, right?
Well, it's not no. There are two schools, both survived, but an agreement appeared much later.
But they only differed on 2 books. The Catholics
doesn't matter.
Way many books, right?
Still a difference, yeah.
Okay, so if I take any of these 2 canons, they're still different than the Catholic Church. So why are you guys adding so many books out of nowhere, out of thin air?
Oh, it's a matter of principle and not numbers. Doesn't matter if they're if they're different 2 books or 7 books. It's matter of principle. How do we know the canon? If the 2 schools were separated on the canon, were not in agreement, then they didn't know what was the scope of the canon. So either we have something firm we can rely on, or we don't. And if we don't, then it's all for grabs, and we can't just call scripture whatever, because it's about picking and choosing. Then if there is a principle we can hold to very clearly, and there's no dispute about it, then then we have an argument.
But David, even the church fathers did not agree on this. Even some church fathers did not agree in the canon. Jerome being one of them. You probably know more. So even the church fathers do not acknowledge your canon. But you're so stubborn to say that this is the true canon because of an ecumenical council of group of people who gathered and decided, these are the books that I want them to be inspired.
Yeah, well, those who disagreed on the canon, actually, we can detect that there are making individual arguments. Like, for example, Tertullian is defending Enoch only based on the very one thing that Jude quoted it. So, but the fact that he is defending Enoch only proves the point that Enoch was not received as scripture, because then he would not have to defend the book. And usually that is what happens. So, but again, if we want to go with, if somebody has a problem with the church fathers, then we cannot rely on the New Testament. And that's why I was also bringing up the New Testament, because if somebody wants to attack the church fathers, then even Protestants have a problem, because then they cannot recover the New Testament.
Okay, this hurts a lot. I cannot keep doing this.
Okay.
Thank you both.
Guys, I enjoyed the conversation, but I will have to go.
Yeah, no worries, brother. I'm going to continue for at least 30, 45 minutes. Brother, thank you for joining me, brother. God bless you, brother.
Sure. Thank you both.
God bless you, brother. By the way, Daniel, you did a very good job there. God bless you guys. We're going to continue just a few more minutes, then I got to wrap it up too, but we'll continue for a little bit. Brother Daniel, you did a great job. Can you hear me there? Oh, I think you lost sound. Anybody able to hear me? I was going to go live tonight, but Mythical is going to be busy, so we're going to move Devil's Advocate to tomorrow, guys. We're going to move it to tomorrow. Promise you guys, we'll move Devil's Advocate. He did a good job. Here's the one thing. Daniel, you able to hear me there, brother?
Yes. For some reason, when you kick someone out, it mutes the other person. I didn't
kick him out. He left. David left.
Oh yeah. When someone leaves,
weird.
It doesn't allow the other person to hear you.
That's odd. I'm glad you're back. But just to note, you did great. And to lay out the point, remember that's a great point you brought up, to try and argue for the Gospels that are being quoted so much in the early church. But remember that the lack of a uniform canon early on favors the Catholic position rather than damages it, because you need an authoritative church to query the apostolic communities to come to a conclusion that is guided by the Holy Spirit on the list of books, because otherwise we can say, sure, all of these books are quoted, but First Clement is quoted a lot too, Shepherd of Hermas as well, Didache, Epistle of Barnabas, and others. So yeah, the Gospels are quoted, but early on, a lot of other books are quoted too. And here's the other issue that you can discombobulate a Protestant with. If you think about it, there are books that are debated well into the 4th century before the North African Code, Daniel. Books such as Hebrews, James, 2 Peter, 2 and 3 John, Jude, Revelation. Meanwhile, while those are being debated, and certain of them not used in the Eastern churches, some of them, meanwhile, books like Shepherd are being read publicly. So right there, that will discombobulate a Protestant if you learn how to use it against a Protestant, whereas a Catholic can just flat out say, hey, yeah, I know, but I believe in the authoritative church to settle that dispute. I have a church that is living and breathing, and if you doubt that my church can do that, well, then you're in trouble, because you trust the New Testament canon that my church gave you. And if they come back and say, well, hold on, We get that New Testament canon from Athanasius. You tell them, well, good. A Catholic bishop gave it to you? Really? A Catholic bishop that believed in the Eucharist, purgatory, prayer for the dead, Mary was without sin, Mary is a perpetual virgin. A Catholic bishop that believed in prayer from the dead, intercession of the saints. And I can go on. And then you say, but even he is not your ally because he doesn't have a Protestant canon. So you're going to include Baruch in your canon? So notice all of these things backfire against them, but the lack of a uniform canon early on and the church deciding that by querying the apostolic communities, that favors Catholicism and causes their paradigm to fall apart.
So, William, if a Protestant comes and says, okay, I acknowledge I got the Bibles from the councils, that's it for their religion? Because they're
done. Many do that. Many do that, and you tell them, okay, hold on. So then that church is infallible. And they're going to come back and say, no. And if they concede, once they concede, Daniel, that they received it from the church, it's game over. You know why? Because then you say, well, then that church is infallible. And Daniel, if they say no, the church is not infallible, then this is a logical conclusion that they're at. That if that church is not infallible, then maybe that church got some books wrong and they can't be certain about their New Testament canon. Or maybe that church left out a few books where they can't be certain of their canon either. It cuts both ways, and once they admit that, game over. It's done.
This is fantastic, William. Thank you,
Brother Daniel. We're going to do the devil's advocate tomorrow evening, my friend. I hope you're around. We're going to move it tomorrow because Mythical's going to be busy. Brother, you're phenomenal. I hope to see you there, brother.
Thank you, William. Bye.
God bless you, my friend. Thank you so much for coming up, brother. Oh, look what we got back here. We got Gary, man. Gary, you showed up just as David left, brother. How you doing, buddy?
I know. Hey, I'm so sorry I'm late.
No, man. No worries. Glad you're here. Still got I got another 30 minutes, so we got time, man. We got time to rock it, brother. And glad that you're here. So happy you're here, brother. Audience, hey, man, we got Gary here, and now they're gonna run Gary. Everybody's gonna run away.
Run. No, I think Bill's Butcher House has already scared away most people. So
it might be the case, man. It might be. We had a great time. We were talking about what we got to talk about Florence and Trent, and big shocker, David pretty much echoes everything we've said. By the way, shout out to Sir Minimi. I don't know if is he in the audience still. We were heavily inspired by him. He is amazing to talk about the Tridentine canon, to talk about Florence, to talk about all those issues. You guys very often inspire us to go in, to dig deep, and to remember these are issues day in and day out, and we want them to be clear in your mind. Well, there we go, my friend. You heavily inspired us to deal with that. And I want to let you all know, you all make suggestions and we hear them and we know what you all want to hear and we dive into them. So we do want to tell you thank you. Thank you to Bronca for your support. God bless you. And to Devor Marcus, as I called it out earlier. Let me tell Gary, because Gary wasn't here earlier. I want to give Devor Marcus a shout out. Thank you for your support, brother. And all of you all, we are incredibly grateful for your support. Who got gifted the membership? James Holden got the membership. But last night on my show, I was making a comment, Gary. I made a comment. I said, one of the guys that he is very prominent in the Spanish-speaking community is a guy named Edgar Pacheco. And Gary, I'm brutally honest, but Edgar is prominent in the sense that he has a big following over there. His arguments would probably be, if you transferred him over to the English-speaking world, he'd probably be one of the worst. They're horrible arguments. He's terrible. But he's got a big following over there. I made a comment the other day, last night. I said, I bet you Edgar watches my stuff. I know he does. And one of these days when a membership is gifted, I bet you anything, one of these days when a membership is gifted, Edgar's going to be there hiding. He's going to get that membership. And then I got an email from a wonderful fan of the channel. Sure enough, thanks to Devor Marcus, we got it right there. Edgar Pacheco gifted a membership. He watches, man.
He needs it.
You need it, Edgar. You need it, Edgar. And then we're going to put out more canon material for you, Edgar, because you need it, Edgar. You need it, man. And look how ironic. But Edgar and his boys are attacking the Deuterocanon, and Edgar gets gifted a membership, and he gets gifted a membership. David was laughing, and the icon he got was the great Augustine of Hippo, Saint Augustine, one of the greatest defenders of the canon, of the Deuterocanon, and he got gifted that membership. Edgar, you need it, man, but come and chat with us, Edgar. Come back here. We do bite, though. I got to warn you, we do bite. We do bite. Yeah, there's no doubt, man. God bless all of you all. Shout out to all of you all. Dev, how you doing, brother? Says William, un debate me viene bien porque necesito practicar leyendo y escribiendo en español. There you go. There you go, man. He needs to practice Spanish. Shout out to Devor Marcus, my friend. Thank you for your support, brother. And thank all of y'all. You guys are incredible and phenomenal. Thank you all for your support. We are here able to do what we're doing because you guys and gals are amazing. And as you see, your gifted memberships go a long way. And we hear you when you say, we want you guys to cover this. Brother Gary, let me ask you before we dive into more questions. And by the way, for people that are tested, there you go. There you go. I love it, man. For people that are back here or that come back here, remember, what is your faith? What is your question on the right-hand side? All you got to do is tell us, what is your faith? What is your question? And we'll bring you up. We'd love to have you up. We'd love to dialogue with you. You want to debate? All right. Cool deal. If you don't want to debate, that's fine. If you just have a question, the link is pinned. We had Protestant Daniel come up. Daniel, shout out to Protestant Daniel who came up. God bless you, brother. With that in mind, I got to ask you, Gary, what's up, man? You got a chill stream tomorrow or Sunday or Monday? What do you got coming up?
Next Monday.
Monday,
And,
okay.
Yeah, it's going to be on a subject that a lot of people aren't familiar with, but it's important, especially talking about Augustine, and that is the Mommsen Catalog, otherwise known as the Cheltenham List.
There you go. Really?
Yeah. So this is a list that has the Deuterocanon, which you almost never hear about.
Wow.
It's a strange list, but it's important. So that's what we're going to dive in Monday.
Monday morning, bright and early, man. You're going to be diving into that. Now, is that going to be more than one part, or what do you have planned?
No, I think I could do it all in one part.
Okay.
Yeah. And then that's a setup for the North African Councils, and then Jerome.
Man, I'm thrilled and pumped for that. Let me. I got to pick your brain. Are you working to arrive to the medieval era? Are you working up? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, as long as I'm doing chill streams, I'm just pecking along, and hopefully we can get into the Middle Ages.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. And people, if you're awake at the time, I know that that's the perfect time for our friends in Europe. I don't know about, I don't know what time that is in Australia.
Oh, it's prime time in Australia.
No way, really?
Yeah, I'm an honorary Aussie. You know, they sent me a flag. Let's see if, here we go. It's over right here.
Are you serious?
Australian flag, yep. I'm going
who sent you that?
Born Again Sinner.
No way. Why didn't I get one, man? Born Again Sinner, you're a hater. Oh, man, I love it, man.
Yeah,
I was going to take a guess.
You gotta go on at 3 a.m. That's the deal.
3 a.m. That is prime time, man.
Yep.
Man,
yeah, so that's awesome.
That's great. You guys are phenomenal. You guys are great. We got the incredible Sir Minimi. Lord bless you, brother. Thank you for your support, for being incredible as well, my friend. I noticed a lot of times we have to talk to our Hispanic brothers with more assertiveness. Like when we talk to Muslims, it becomes a match of who is more assertive, who is more confident in their belief. Now, Sir Minimi would know. Sir Minimi is, I believe, eres mexicano, ¿verdad, Sir Minimi? Creo que eres mexicano. I believe that Hispanic, or I don't remember what our friend said, but the behavior, and I do know this as being one that lives right here in the border, as being one that used to go over there very often. Before COVID, I would very often go over there and give talks. It kind of not as much anymore, but I'm still in the border, still visit over there very often. And I can tell you that that Catholicism, unfortunately, the way Catholicism is viewed and treated by our evangelical interlocutors over there is in a very nasty manner. Their level of hatred is at an all-time high. So the kind of videos that you get and the kind of responses, and the whole audience, everybody can confirm, Sir Minimi can confirm, and others, the kind of responses you get in the Spanish-speaking Protestant world are not replies that you're going to get from individuals that act educated. They act borderline barbaric, Gary. They will mock the faith. They will shatter statues. They're disgusting in their behavior. They're some of the filthiest behaved persons that there are, and it's lamentable. It really is. Some of them behave, but the grand majority of them behave in a very, very vile manner. It's a completely different world. As I've told you all before, the worlds are different. The English-speaking Protestant world is very different from the Spanish-speaking Protestant world. They're night and day. In the English-speaking world, you have people that want robust dialogue and they want robust debate. In the Spanish-speaking world, it is a matter of, can I be toxic to the point of scaring you away? And can I debate and use 1800s level arguments and I hope that you don't know them. That is the level of argumentation. If you hop on over there one of these days and you auto dub one of the videos, they're very bad. The arguments are from the 1800s. They've been dealt with. They're just not aware that they've been dealt with over there. So they're pretty bad.
Wow. Yeah. I'm glad that I don't speak Spanish then, because
no, you'll definitely feel very you'll feel filthy once you go over there and then you come to the other English speaking world. But hey guys, the butcher shop has been open now for them. Now that I realize the way that they like to behave, nothing hurts William's feelings, and William's a big boy, and William's ready to debate any of their apologists. They like to call themselves the Alianza, the Evangelical Alliance, and the Evangelical Alliance are very free to connect right now and come debate. We got the Butcher House open for them. We got a great question from Lino Molina. Thank you, Lino. Lino Molina. Would pressing Protestants on what authoritative grounds do they have on removing the Deuterocanon further expose their dilemma and their anarchy? Now, I'll take a chomp at it first, and Gary can do it. The majority of Protestants that you're going to encounter are not going to admit they've removed the Deuterocanon. They're going to deny it. They're going to claim that it never belonged there to begin with, and it doesn't belong in the Bible to begin with. The majority are not going to admit that it has been removed. What are your thoughts, Gary?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, they have a very whitewashed understanding of Protestant history in regards to these books. They just assume all Protestants felt the same way. All of them rejected the Deutero, and so it's like they continued this tradition from Catholics, the smart Catholics in the Middle Ages, and so they don't even know their history. So you would have to kind of show them that no, Protestants were all over the map in regards to the book, and when they did reject these books, it was kind of a halfway measure.
Yeah.
And so then once they understand the history, then authority really comes into play, because who in Protestantism has the authority to settle, and have a established canon? And the answer is nobody, according to sola fide, sola scriptura.
And that really truly is a mess. And a little while ago, I don't remember if it was Daniel, somebody sent a great question, or Daniel asked it back here. Oh my goodness, it was Lino Molina himself. He had a great question, and David and myself dealt with it, and even David made a point saying you'd probably remember this. So I hope I'm not putting you in the spot. In terms of the reformers, we know that Calvin and I know Turretin, the real Turretin, argued for a self-authenticating canon. Maybe they argued in a different manner. Can you think of anyone else that argued for a self-authenticating canon in the reformers, Gary? Does anyone else come to your mind? Outside of Calvin and Turretin, because I know Turretin.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. That's distinctly Reformed camp.
Yes. Yeah. Can't think of anyone else off the top of my head.
Yeah, it is until you get, and there's some debate whether even Calvin held to that belief.
Sure. As David said, his view on that was very different from Francis Turretin. Right. And I got to be honest, Gary. I'm not trying to be rude, but it really is a very there are a lot of holes you can poke in that. The self-authenticating canon, right?
Oh yeah, tons. And in fact, William, you taught me something that I didn't realize, is that apparently John Calvin accepted Baruch.
Sure did. That's prophetic.
So if it's self-authenticating, how do you come up with John Calvin not getting the correct authentication?
Yeah. And the other thing that I found very odd when I debated on Arminian about 2 years back, look, I'm aware that Jacob Arminius, when he laid out the canon, he lays out a Protestant canon. But as David brought up earlier, it isn't as cut and clear as you may think in the Protestant world. Right, Jacob Arminius laid out a Protestant canon, but what are you going to do with the fact that he may have laid out a Protestant canon, but then he goes on to using deuterocanonical books as sacred scripture? And hear what I'm saying, audience. I'm not talking about him merely using a deuterocanonical book, merely quoting from it. No, I mean quoting from it as authoritative sacred scripture. So that really does complicate matters even worse. That makes matters even more complicated, that when you realize that, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But he's not elect, though, so that doesn't count. I'm being facetious.
Yeah, no, I know.
And of course, even outside of that, the Radical Reformation accepted these books, even accepted more books, and they used deuterocanonical books against the magisterial Protestants. So, I mean, that makes it even more, complex. And then you also have a view, I think it was Zwingli, that believed that the Deuterocanon was inspired in some sense.
Right.
Not like the fullest sense, like the quote unquote canonical books.
Yep.
It's a mess. And so who has the authority to solve that? Right.
Yeah, like I was telling the brother Daniel earlier, shout out to Protestant Daniel that came. And by the way, Protestant Daniel, if you want to come up and play devil's advocate and you want to come up and put on the gloves for Gary, we still got another 15 minutes to go before we got to go. Yeah, you're more than welcome, or anyone that does want to come up. But I was telling the brother Daniel, by the way, Daniel, thank you so much for your robust dialogue. He was arguing, well, we have all these books used in the early church. All these books are being used early on. And doesn't that damage the Catholic position? No, it doesn't, because it favors the position. Because even if you say the Gospels were quoted 1,000 times by the early fathers, it doesn't matter. They're also quoting First Clement, Shepherd of Hermas, Didache. They're also quoting Epistle of Barnabas. They're also quoting those. And the issue is this. There are books being debated well into the 4th century before the North African Code. Books like Hebrews, 2 Peter, as David brought up, 2nd and 3rd John, Revelation. So, meanwhile, there are books that were read publicly in churches like Shepherd of Hermas. So, how are you going to use this argument to narrow down the Protestant canon? You can't do it. Rather, you need a church that can say, okay, we're going to ask the apostolic churches, what are the books being read? And we're going to come back with an authoritative voice. And the church, under the guidance of the Holy Spirit, is going to tell you these are the canonical books and none others. But by what paradigm can a Protestant do that? They don't have one. They don't have one. And they're in a very, very difficult position, aren't they, Gary?
Yeah, and if you go to different websites and read different books, they'll propose all sorts of criteria. But where does the criteria come from? It doesn't come from the Bible. No. It doesn't come from historic Protestantism.
What a mess.
And so it's like their criteria is just as good as anybody else's.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And you run into all kinds of problems. Another thing that I've heard them try to argue for is, and you hear it often, and Brother David was laughing about it. Oh, well, you know what? Hey, hold on. We get our New Testament from St. Athanasius. Oh, you don't want to go that route. Number one, if you want to go that route, well, then, hey, I got to tell you, so you get your canon of the New Testament from a bishop that was Catholic, that believed in Mary was without sin, was perpetual virgin, that believed in prayer for the dead, intercession of the saints, believed the Eucharist is the body, blood, soul, divinity of our Lord. And I can go on and on. So you're going to tell me you get it from a Catholic bishop, but then you encounter another deeper problem, another one, as David pointed out. Okay, well, if you get your canon from him, well, then I'd like to see your Bible. You got Baruch there? You got you Baruch in there, and you run into all kinds of issues there, Gary. Pick your poison if you're a Protestant, is what I say, and they're in a big dilemma, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. It's very, very thorny, and if you want to hang your shingle on a particular church father, it'll definitely come back to bite you.
Oh yeah, it's going to definitely come back to
A
bite
number
you.
of
And,
ways.
oh yeah, and that'll be a pretty severe bite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sir Minimi asked this, and Gary answered it phenomenally on our show. When we did a Virgin Most Powerful Radio audience, I really recommend you go and check that out. If you have not yet seen it, I highly recommend you go and check it out. If you have not yet checked out the show that we did it just a few days ago. Friday, right? Yeah, just yesterday. What am I talking about, man?
Yeah.
Yesterday. Go and check it out. Sir Minimi, what was our criteria? Well, very clearly, I like to point to the great St. Augustine, who, off the top of my head, I don't remember, Gary might remember, in De Doctrina Christiana, I believe it's there, right? He points to, you ask the apostolic churches, what are the books being read? And when they come back with a unanimous voice, these are the ones being read. You've got that laid out there at the North African Code. When you hear North African Code, don't think you got a code for a video game or something, guys. I had somebody ask earlier, what do you guys mean by North African Code? It is lingo for Hippo and Carthage, the Hippo and Carthage councils from North Africa. And you've got the canon laid out there, and that is the apostolic canon. Anything to add to that, Gary?
Absolutely. Yeah, I was just looking it up. You're looking at On Christian Doctrine, Book 2.
Book 2, there you go.
Section 813 is where he lays it out. And like I said on the show, I think he's the only early church father that actually tells you how you know the canon. That's actually in 12. And let's see if I could get the important quote. Nope, that's not it. I'm just trying to find.
I thought that was the correct book, though.
Yeah, it is. It is
Okay.
the correct book. Sorry, I'm trying to look. I have so much highlighted. It's hard to pick out the quote I'm looking for. Oh, yes. Okay. So he says, quote, and this is from 2:8:12, not 13. 13 has a list.
Okay,
Says,
okay.
Now, in regards to the canonical scriptures, he must follow the judgment of the greater number of Catholic churches. And among these, of course, a high place must be given to such as to have thought worthy to be a seat of the apostle and to receive epistles. So he's looking at the universal church when he says, look to see how they use it, meaning that they read it as scripture in the liturgy.
Yeah.
You look for the consensus. You look for ubiquity. Is it found? It's used everywhere, and especially apostolicity, especially those churches that have historic ties. I mean, strong historic ties to the apostles. And that's how he comes up with his canon. Like I mentioned on the show, William, if his methodology is able to produce the exact New Testament canon, then upon what basis can you say it's faulty when it comes to the Old Testament canon?
It's a great point. It's a phenomenal point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're definitely right. That's a great question, Sir Minimi. That is. And you did a stream on Augustine, right? Not long back?
I just finished it last Friday.
Amazing, man. I mean, you got to check that out, Sir Minimi. You got to check that out. Definitely. And Daniel says, by the way, Sir Minimi, thank you for your support. Let me tell you, Sir Minimi, we're going to be doing more material. I made a promise to the audience, and I'm going to keep that promise because I keep my promises. Beginning in the coming week, at least once a week, I am going to be doing Spanish streams. And you can expect that when I do it on the canon, I will be dual streaming in the evenings. And of course, that means I'll be here and on the Apocrypha Apocalypse, meaning I'll open up the Butcher House in English and Spanish. So the Apocrypha Apocalypse, guys, is going bilingual beginning next week. You guys are going to love that, man. You're going to love it. Oh, yeah. Daniel, the man. Thank you for your support, brother. Thank you for the practice. I used some of your arguments while debating Gary.
Oh, wow.
Keep teaching up, guys. I love you, brother. I love it. Gary, can your streams be at normal U.S. times? William and Gary, you are peace. Well, I tell you this, Daniel. When we do team streams, they're always normal hours. They are. So keep an eye on that. By the grace of God, we'll be doing more of them. Hopefully next week we'll be doing more. I know those are normal times, but I think Gary, correct me if I'm wrong. I think for your chill streams, you try to keep those a particular time, right? If I'm correct.
Yeah, about 3:30 a.m. Eastern time. Like I said, that's prime time Austria. And if we could get big enough, viewers, then maybe we'll do like a members only at that time. But right now it's fairly small, so we'll have to grow it.
Do you get, and I got to ask this, do you get about how many people tune in early?
It's usually between 15 and I think we've had like top of 40.
It's not bad for that time, man.
Yeah.
That's not bad for that time.
Yeah, and it's growing. It's growing because I've noticed a lot more Aussies are slowly tuning in, and also people in England. It's I believe late afternoon. Wait, no, it's morning in England.
Yeah, no, it's morning, man. If you're on at 2 a.m. my time. That's 2:30 a.m. my time. It's about 8:30 a.m. England time. That's a pretty good time over there as well.
Yeah, we get reason and belief right before he goes to work. So
you do? There you go, man. Our goated moderator. And remember, we love reason and belief. He's Eastern Orthodox. We love him. Guys, and we love our Eastern Orthodox brothers and sisters and our Oriental. We love all of them. We love all you guys, man. And we appreciate you all tuning in. How about we take this as the final one? Because I do gotta run out a little bit, guys. I gotta run. But this is a great one to close the dojo doors on. A great one. And it comes from the goated moderator and member. He's got 35-inch biceps, the incredible brother, AB. We love you, AB. We love you, my friend. How do we deal with the fact that other apostolic churches have differing canons? How about I take a little stab at that and you follow up, Gary? If you don't mind, I'll give you the final word. Okay. So here's the way that I tackle it, AB. And I've thought about this a lot. Guys. So the way that I've come to this conclusion, I think it is rock solid. So the issue is this. As the Catholics, we adhere to the canon that has been received, recognized, and fixed in the undivided Church of antiquity. Now, later disagreements after the schism don't undo any earlier unity, because as a Catholic, we're going to say, when we look to the New Testament, 27 books, and the broader Old Testament, when East and West were still united, the church laid this out of the North African Code. Remember that 393 and 397 predate 431 Ephesus and any schism that occurs afterwards prior to Chalcedon. So any Oriental Orthodox or Eastern Orthodox separation, though that North African Code predates it. So any later disagreements are, in my honest opinion, they're chronologically irrelevant. So for a Catholic, the North African Code, canon, that is what we would call the decisive anchor. Hippo, Carthage, and then, of course, the 419 Carthaginian Code. And as David pointed out earlier, he said, William, don't forget Pope Innocent in 405, before the 419 Council of Carthage. Right. And these councils list the full Catholic canon, including the deuterocanonical books, including the 27 book New Testament. So East and West were united on the canon. At the time of the North African councils, Rome accepted the canon. North Africa accepted the canon. The Greek East used these same books liturgically. And later on, we do have a schism between the Oriental, the Catholic, but East and West, what would later become Eastern Orthodox, they were united. And very clearly, when East and West are united, there at Third Constantinople and beyond, there is no difference in terms of the canon. In fact, when we get to the Florentine canon, we get to Florence. Florence, as you all know very well, is a council where great debates are being had. We're trying to reunite with the East. They're trying to reunite. What are the issues on the table? They say, put the issues on the table. We're going to dialogue about them and debate about them. The canon is not one of them. We agree in the canon at that time. That's pretty significant, isn't it, Gary?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's in fact the discussion with the Greeks, right, over purgatory.
Yep.
They used the second Maccabees, and quite frankly, they said look, Second Maccabees isn't at, we're not at odds. No one was at odds with Second Maccabees. In fact, that was not an issue. The issue was really on the nature of purgatory.
Yes.
So if there was going to be discussion, it would definitely be there, and there wasn't. We were both brothers on that point,
That is such a great point, because just to briefly add, I'm sorry, I'll let you finish. Briefly add, that's a great point, because to follow up with that, what I would say to follow up is, I say, proof is in the pudding. Second Maccabees was utilized by Mark of Ephesus, and Mark of Ephesus is a titan for Eastern Orthodox. He is a titan for them. So if you stop and think about it, Mark of Ephesus utilizes Second Maccabees. With that in mind, the Deuterocanon is not an issue, not at that time. So I would point to that, and then I would say very clearly, later on, modern day differences, I got to be honest, later on, modern day differences do not undermine that unified canon. If somebody tells you, well, Gary and William, hold on, man, the Ethiopians have more books. Well, the Orthodox have more Old Testament books. The reply is clear. The canon is defined by ecclesiastical authority under the inspiration of the Holy Spirit. And we need to be very clear. Any canons, any books that would have crept in later, much after the North African Code, or many books or a few that may have gotten dropped, such as the Assyrian Church of the East, none of that can overturn the canon that was clearly fixed before any kind of schism. And we've got to be very clear. This, when we lay this out, the Protestant position is actually worse, because this kind of an objection from Protestants annihilates Protestantism, not Catholicism. Because then you got to ask them, okay, hold on. Which post-apostolic authority removed the Deuterocanon universally? Which one? We'd like to know. The answer is none. Yet the Protestant canon rejects the undivided church, rejects rejects antiquity, rejects patristic consensus, and follows a very late innovation. Whereas the Catholic Church preserves the canon of antiquity. I dare say this causes Protestantism to crumble. What do you think? What do you think here?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And you articulated it very well. And I mean, after all, you don't have to take our word for it. Take Augustine, right? He was in the 4th century. He had intimate knowledge. In fact, he probably had a lot of writings that didn't survive antiquity, through antiquity. And he says that the canon can be seen by the greater number of Catholic churches, especially those that have the seat of apostle and receive epistles. So that's their assessment in the 4th century. Who are we to say otherwise, right?
Without a doubt. There is no doubt about that. And hey, I gotta say, AB, I am glad. No, don't tell me thank you. Thank you for the amazing question. You all are the ones that keep us on our toes. You all are the ones that keep us thinking, reading, and always doing our best to give you the very best material. Because let me tell you guys, we want you to have the very best material, to be battle tested out there in the spiritual battle on battlefield. We love you all greatly. And Devor, thank you for your support. All of you all, we want to tell you, we wouldn't be here without your support. And we are incredibly grateful, guys and gals. We're very grateful for your support. And I got to say, God bless you, 2C Joe, who says, congratulations. Well, the one thing that I'm happy about is I get to bring my friends like Gary on a ton, a lot, man. I get to grab Gary and bring him on. And I can't think of better guests than people like Gary, who, man, the guy's doing phenomenal work. And I'm glad we're able to get you on for at least almost an hour, Gary. Thank you for coming on, man. I'm glad we're able to be together, man. That was great.
Yeah, unfortunately, I missed all the prime cuts and the fillets and all the things that you were serving up earlier. And I missed Dave. But I'm glad that I was able to at least come a little bit and hang around with you and all the guys in the chat. Like I tell them over and over again on those chill streams, William, we got the most studied heavy hitters in chat. These guys, they know their stuff. They push us further. They make us better, because we have to dig in deep and do a better job for them because they know their stuff. And so,
they do. And in fact, when Protestant William shows up, tomorrow evening. And I don't know what your schedule is tomorrow night. I'd love for you to hop on with me. I'd love that. That would be a doozy. Protestant William and Protestant Gary. I don't
Yeah,
know what
that'd
your
be
schedule
fun.
is. Let's do it, man. They have no idea what's coming for them tomorrow night. Members stream, Protestant William, Protestant Gary. You guys better get ready. They keep us on our toes. And guys, look, as I told you earlier, David heard, and I'm going to say it with Gary. He's going to hear now. Get ready, guys, because I'm going to use fake quotes tomorrow. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you when, and I might slip a word in here or there or remove a word. Hey, man, I'm going back to being Calvinist William, but I'm going to be a very devious one, and that'll be a lot of fun. Gary, man, I had a great time with you today, brother. It was phenomenal. Any final thoughts before we creak and we close those doors of the dojo, brother?
No, just keep up the great work. You got a great radio show, and I only wish I knew Spanish so I could follow you with the Spanish lines too as well.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man. We're going to do more stuff. We're going to be doing stuff in Spanish as well. Audience, don't forget to smash a like. Let us know what you thought about it. What kind of material do you want us to be working on? Remember, we hear and we take all of your suggestions. Audience, God bless all of you all. God keep you all. We will be back very, very soon. Again, keep an eye out for the shows that we have scheduled. We can't wait to be back with you all. Take care, everybody. God bless you.